Welcome, everybody, to another UpX World stream with the one and only Snail Spacing and myself. Thank me later. Oh, where's my? I don't have the little caption things. Where's the caption things? Our names. Bubble? Oh, wait, display names. That's why. There it is. Thank me later. Snail Spacing. Welcome, everybody. Shack Attack in the house. I love that logo, by the way, Shack. The Shack Attack. Who did you make that? Who made your icon, your logo? It looks really good.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have an exciting episode. So today, oh, you did. Fantastic. We did actually have our first submissions. So thank you, Shacklin and Pure Rolex, for your submissions. We are really excited to showcase those tonight. And so we will talk about those, as well as we're going to take some time. The name of the program or the not competition. What did we decide on? It wasn't a competition. It was a community art showcase. Is really always be creating. So we wanted to take some time, and I'm going to get some tips and tricks from the one and only Snail Spacing, who's going to help me with mine. So I am currently still working on mine. Yeah, I know. I got a couple hours left. And it is blurred, probably for good reason. But maybe I'll get some tips and tricks from our the expert here, and see if she can't turn a complete amateur into something a little bit better, as well as maybe give some inspiration to those who are hesitant to start creating. Like this art showcase is really open to any level of artists. This is not a pro art competition. This is a community art showcase. We really want people to feel free to express themselves in any way that they feel. It does not have to be, although art is subjective. I've seen a lot of just terrible art, like at art museums. And am I wrong in my understanding that the art world is essentially super corrupt? Is that true?
I mean, it's used by people to definitely play with money and markets and whatnot. It's not usually the artist's fault, but yeah. Yeah. Because art is so subjective.
What you're saying is
lower in price, and you can move money around it. I didn't give them money. I gave them a $2 million piece of art that was appraised by this totally legit person.
So what you're saying is all successful artists are scams. Is that what they're all illegal gangsters? So the only legitimate artists are really the unknown broke artists.
The starving artists.
The starving artists are the only real artists. If you are a successful artist, you are a criminal. That's what I just heard.
No. I said the artists usually have nothing to do with it. Especially the artist will sell their painting for $100, and the person will go get it appraised for that $2 million. So that artist usually isn't even seeing the fun part.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate to say the least. Well, don't worry. That's not going to happen to our artist. Because none of you are going to be famous. But who knows? Honestly, some of the work you all create, Shaq, I'm looking at you. You could be the next. Who's a big artist? What would be like the name of a big artist? I don't even know.
Like modern day?
Yeah, like who is the Michael Jordan of the art world?
I'm trying to think, because once again, it's so subjective. And like we've fallen in love with the old masters.
Beeple? Do you know Beeple?
I don't know Beeple. I know Banksy. Banksy's
probably
a good one.
That's true.
Like definitely someone that doesn't even get paid for their art and is completely unknown, and yet their art is sold for a lot.
Wait, isn't he the one that did the art that when it was sold, like shredded itself?
Yeah, they managed to stop it halfway, but.
Oh, legend. Pure Rolex, we were just talking about you. Welcome, Pure Rolex, at our other submission of the evening. Hopefully, again, there's still several hours left before the deadline for January beginnings. We know that this was a shorter time frame than normal. So we are hoping that people are able to get some art in for the sale that is slated to start next week. All things, if we can get everything worked out. So let's just jump right into it. Always be creating by snail spacing. It is our digital community showcase in conjunction with UpX World. And every month we ask artists to make some art, send it in based on a prompt that has been pre-selected, and then they will be sold as NFTs for a month. These are very collectible in the sense of they're very affordable is the word I want. They're not meant to be one of one $5,000 pieces. These are supposed to be cheap. Honestly, even though it says 10 wax each, I was thinking we might even bump it up where you get like 3 or 4 for 10 wax, because the idea is you're going to burn these for in-game mechanics or discounts from the store, a lot of different things. So we want there to be enough of them out there that people feel good about burning them. And then there will be an artist proof who goes to whoever owns the most pieces, whoever bought and holds the most of any of these pieces at the end of the month. That will essentially be the largest art patron. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Art patron.
Yes.
They get the artist proof, which will be a one of one, and will have additional value and be able to be reusable. As an artist, obviously you will be getting shares of the NFTs sold. We're also looking at giving. Did we decide on how many? 25 is how many?
Yeah, I think
I wanted to give away 100. You're like, no.
100 is a lot.
I was gonna give away 1,000.
You never said 1,000.
I thought it though.
Okay.
I was like,
sure.
1,000. What if we gave away 1,000? But lo and behold, no. That didn't. I was thinking, because I was like, I mean, I feel like there's other way. I mean, we have it set, so I'm a tinkerer. I like to tinker, because I was like, how else could we do it? I'm curious to know from the artist perspective. Where's my mouse? So, like the artist, we obviously will be on here promoting, talking about the art, promoting the actual NFTs, and building in the functionality, the usability. To the artist, sure, that's fair. Pure Rolex, I appreciate that. Like, do you want it to be about, like, okay, and I'm just throwing this out there. Would you rather we gave all of the artists 1,000 of their own prints? So we manufacture and print them through UpX World, and then we give each artist 1,000 of the prints, and then y'all can sell them and distribute them however you want as an option. Like, just throwing that out there of like, hey, we're going to do 1,000 mint run of all of them. You get 1,000, and then you can distribute it among your community. And if they're for sale somewhere, like we'll say, hey, look, these are for sale. And then whoever owns the most of your art, your biggest art patron, at the end of the month, people run out of room in their wallets. Oh, that's a good point. Okay. I always forget about that.
This is why we asked.
See, Shaq, I'm glad you're here. All right. So I think then what we'll do is then we'll keep it. We'll do the first 25 mint. I do want to give all of the artists their 25. So the first 25 mint, we'll mint them right out. And then each artist will get the first 25 mint of their own to do with whatever they want. You can use it as giveaways. I know a lot of you have your own communities and brands. So you can use it in those. You can sell them. You can hoard them. Whatever feels right to you. I know the UpX podcast, shout out to UpX podcast, is always looking for stuff to give away. So as an artist, if you wanted to be featured on there, I'm sure that we could harass Too Stupid to put it in there for some giveaways. And then we'll open up a vending machine style where it's just, again, I want to have it cheaper than 10 wax per one, but I don't want to sell something for less than 10 wax. Does that make sense?
So doing bundles instead.
Yeah. So like when you buy it, you get like 3 or 4 or even 5 for 10 wax. Right. So that you immediately get like a couple of them because like I said, these are going to be burned. So, you know, at 3, I like the number 3. And this is actually, I stole it from Too Stupid. He does like 3s on anything he like quote unquote invests in because it's like 1 to hold, 1 to use, and then 1 to sell kind of thing. And so if it was 3, and then that's the idea. Like you can use 1, you can hold 1, and you can sell 1 in theory, something like that.
That makes sense.
So maybe it's 3 for 10.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see. I'm just saying, I don't even know if that's possible. I assume it's possible. I don't see why it wouldn't be possible.
I'm the artist, not the technician. So
yeah, I know I got to figure that out this week. Shout out if you're a wax person. I might have to call our boy, Dr. Nobi, who set it up for. Actually, I think our also Boulder Magic was also helping with that. So anyway, we'll figure it out. Yeah, wax. Because the idea is then if like, so one of the first things I want to kind of do it with is I want to create just like a simple card game, right? So just like imagine solitaire. Joe Lives is an expert. Thanks. And he's a fantastic artist too. He does some really cool stuff. Imagine just like a basic solitaire game, right? But then your card backs are art from Always Be Creating or other art projects, right? That you can then redeem in the solitaire game to have that card back. Again, very small example, but I think it highlights like, oh, okay, this is the kind of concept it'd be used for. And then the artist proof would be linked to the in-app purchase. So your options to get that artist back, which maybe I'll take this opportunity and I'll bring up some of the actual artwork, is then your options A would be pay 99 cents in the app or burn one of these NFTs. And so right there, you imagine you bought 3 of these for 10 wax. And now they're worth, in theory, 99 cents a piece. Wax is 6 cents each right now. Yeah, wax is 6 cents each. So you're paying 3 wax, 3 times 6. Anyway, it's immediately like you immediately get some kind of return of like, oh, look, I can use 1 to unlock this. I could sell 1 for 50 cents. I could sell 1 for, 5 or 6 wax, whatever, and, be ahead in theory. I don't know. And then as they get burnt, they become more collectible. You could use them for redemption at the store for off merchandise. So I think the idea would be that these are usable for redemption purposes. So they're super affordable to buy, hopefully kind of collectible and fun to trade. And also as an artist, you have 25 to use as promotions to be able to give around and promote your art and hopefully get more people interested in picking up some extras because they don't want to necessarily burn. The ones that you're going to give them are mints 1 through 25. So they're going to be low mint variations. So they might want to pick up some other ones to be able to burn.
Absolutely. And I also love the coupon idea for the real merch.
Yeah, no, I definitely think the real merch, it was like right at the end of when we were doing stuff. And unfortunately, I didn't have kind of the backing and the mental space to kind of push it as hard as I wanted to. But that was some of the coolest stuff. I got so many, the sneakers are unparalleled. The phone back with Rob Zilla's art on the phone case for my iPhone. I've never had anybody comment, and I've owned pretty much every iPhone, and I own some pretty cool cases. I've never had anybody comment on my iPhone case except that one. I had at least a dozen people go, "That's a really cool iPhone case. Where did you get it?" And I'm like, "Oh, dang. Actually, we made it at Upex World." Like, so these items are super unique. You know, it's not like anything else we're really seeing in the market. So I think it's a great opportunity. Let's go back to this. We'll share. Boop, boop, boop. All right. So we cover why we're going to participate. Here's again for those if you're just joining in or you don't remember. Here's the schedule for the upcoming events. Again, beginnings, which is where we're at now, ends tonight. And we'll start sale on 2/3, which is next weekend. February is love. Send all those hearts. Submissions will end on February 23rd. I should let you talk. I talk a lot, and I'm sorry. I'm so used to doing streams on my own. You just have to be like, shh.
It's totally fine. Totally fine. I'll just sit here and look pretty.
I mean, that's true. That's fair. What? Okay, you could go march on. March on.
Yes. So we've got February is going to be love. So as I said, bring us all those hearts, and we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, we'll get. I saw that we'll have at least one more submission, so it's going to be fun. For March, we're going to do Envy. So prepare to get green.
Ooh.
April, we're going to do April showers. That'll be for April. May is going to be B. So lots of options there. June is going to be Moonbug. And then July is going to be heat. And hopefully it'll be a nice warm July because I am already done with the cold.
Already done with the. It's not even February yet.
Yep.
It's not even the coldest month yet.
Yep. I didn't say it was reasonable. I just said I was already done with it.
All right.
Actually, I love wearing my sweaters.
All right. And next. Although I guess we should go over some of the rules. No AI art. Now, I do have a question on this because I've been recently getting into AI art a lot more, mostly because it's super accessible. What if somebody used AI art for components? What up, Wedge Cloud? Zoe in the house. Saying rar. What if somebody was to use AI to generate multiple parts and then make a collage almost? So take various pieces. So use AI to create portions of art and then almost cut and paste to make a new piece of art out of pre-constructed art. What are your thoughts on that? Because as we're going to see later in the show, my art is janky as hell. I have some great ideas, but I would really in order for it to be actually interesting, I was like, you know what? What if I did each component? So I used AI and digital manufacturing to create each component of a larger scene and then brought all those pieces together. What are your feelings on that?
That's a tough one, but I can't say I'm against it because I definitely occasionally will make collages out of fair use pieces, which fair use photos and whatnot are things that people put on the internet and said, I don't need to get paid for this. I don't, if this is free to use, and I'll use that either for tracing over or I'll use it for piecing together. So it is a collage. You are making something new out of it.
Yeah, so I'm not just going in, putting in a prompt, and then submitting that. I'm going in ooh, I really want this dynamic moon that does this and this, and then I want a ground element. So I'm maybe I'm piecing together a scene. I'm building it piece by piece, and then extracting those elements and to create a larger piece, and then maybe adding some filters and things on top of it manually.
Yeah, no. That's, I said it.
Wedge Cloud said she does it. If Wedge Cloud does it, I can do it.
Yeah, no, I think it would be allowed.
All right.
I said it's on the edge, but I get it. It would pass the copyright law. That's the important thing because you're making something new out of it.
Well, there you go. Also, I think she's saying that because she saw my first draft of my doodle and was like, oh, Like, this is garbage.
No.
This looks like you fell asleep on your iPad. What
I
the
said I
hell?
use fair use work all the time, so I can't say that I'm against. Essentially, AI is making a fair use work of your own from a prompt, and
Yeah, and so we're going to talk, and I want to get through. I want to show the artist because we are going to spend some time. I'm going to pick Snail Spacing's brain on what apps does she use. What are some tips and tricks that she has, maybe for beginners if you're looking to get into the space, if you're looking to start your digital art journey. Maybe if there's any things, and then who knows, maybe I'll pull up my iPad here. I haven't figured out how to share it through StreamYard yet, but so we'll have to do it old school and just like show it on the webcam. But we'll see if she can't help me make a masterpiece live. And then maybe you know what? Ooh, we should do an art contest. You have your iPad, don't you?
I do.
Oh, we should do an art contest. We'll have the audience pick a topic, and then we'll do a speed round of art.
Okay.
And we'll see who can make the better piece in like 2 minutes.
Better is subjective, so we'll leave it up to the audience.
Well, obviously, because you know who they're going to vote for. Are GIF images possible? Well, first of all, do you want them to be allowed? That's a question to Snail Spacing. Do you want GIF images to be allowed?
I mean, if they'll work, I just worry that they won't work for some of the applications we're talking about. Like, we'd have to choose a still from them to use for products, for use for the card backs, for use for, like, they work as an NFT.
Okay, so that
wouldn't work for the other subjects.
That's true. Okay, so what I'm hearing is you can add a GIF, you can attach a GIF to your submission, and we'll include it as part of the NFT. And who knows, maybe we'll expand it to have some other feature later. That's super cool. But we'll need a still from that GIF to kind of be the primary piece of art. But I think we can include a GIF as an added element to the NFT. And then down the line, if there are applications that we can leverage the GIF, that would be kind of a cool bonus feature of the art.
Love it.
Thumbs up.
Stifle that creativity.
Level up that creativity. Love it. Yep. Let's go back to this. All right. No copyright images. Nothing you've sold before. It can be work that you've already done and shown, but nothing that you've sold. That's fair. Okay. I wanted to do a GIF for 11/11. I like the inclusion this time around. Well, that's what we're here for, Zoe. Like the goal here with this is, we are looking to be flexible and kind of hear what this, we really want this to be a community driven project. This is for the people, by the people, raw revolution.
Yeah. I'm just so excited to see what everyone does. So GIFs sound amazing.
Yeah. Love it. All right. We already know about Snail Space. So let's get into it. So this piece is called Inspiration. Oh, man, my little brand is covering up. Let's hide that brand. There we go. Inspiration by the one and only Shack Attack. And so this is a digital painting inspired by the colors of life. I love Shack always does really interesting like layers and textures. Obviously, this is a slight departure. She used to do a lot of X things relating to Epic World. I like that, maybe we're going to see the more abstract, fun side. This is the beginning of her journey, the beginning of her collection. And for those of you who know, if you know, this is...
You haven't missed the deadline yet.
Yeah, the deadline's not closed yet, Zoe. And
not until midnight.
Between us gals, if you need a little bit of time, we could work out. Like, it's the first time. If you think that you're going to be close, if you can get it soon, we'd rather give you the opportunity to get in. This is not as rigid as other things. Again, we want it to be flexible. We want it to be fun. We don't want it to be super stressful. Like, we understand life happens, you know, let us know. We definitely would rather have you included than not included. Um, yeah, Shaq always does amazing pieces. And for me, it's this that signature. Like, I don't even know how you would do that digital signature like that. Like, Shaq, you're in the audience. Do you actually sign it? I'll finish. Yes, yes, Zoe. Yes, please finish the piece you started. We will accept it happily. Like, is this I love Shaq's signature. It's just so cool to me. It's like one of I know it's kind of corny, but it's like one of my favorite like aspects to her art is her signature is so sharp. What do you think? How important is it to sign your work?
I've been bad about not signing my work lately. I used to be really rigid of like I have to sign everything, and lately I've been like, it's fine. That's perfect.
I created a paintbrush with my real signature.
Yeah, that's the perfect solution. Because I have a signature that I have to do every time, and trying to get it close enough to being the exact same thing.
Wait, so is it just like a stamp? Are you telling me Santa's not real?
Nothing wrong with a stamp. It's still a real signature.
Oh, I want you to see the look on my face. I thought you were signing each one of these. I'm a little hurt, like, to find out this is just a stamp. I'm not mad. I'm just a little disappointed. I thought you were hand signing all of these. I mean, I know what you're. Wait, but do you sign each one, or did you you have one signature and just like copy paste, boop, signature? I mean, I guess. I just. No, what? No, you don't sign. No, you use a stamp. See, now I'm confused. English is hard. I made the stamp. All right. Well.
See, it's still their signature.
Okay. I want to buy that. I want to buy the original signature, Shaq. I want to buy the original.
Buy the signature.
I want to buy the signature. That's what I want. I just want the signature. And I'm going to put it on baseball hats. Next up, we have Dream. Can someone submit poetry as a form of art, or just drawings, paintings are allowed? This is definitely just drawings and paintings. Although I love the idea of having a written word component. I just don't know how that would work from a utility digitalization perspective. Let me think on that, Pure, because I love the written word. I love the spoken word. I love the written word. That could be super interesting. Speaking of Pure Rolex, you know what? Hold on. I forgot. I didn't get your take. I'm so used to doing this.
No, this one I was about to
yeah.
in on.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I do want to talk about it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I love the colors that are used on this one and the blur techniques. Especially like it makes lots of fun shapes around the edges where it all comes together. And whereas the middle is more just fluid. So it's not all fluid. It's fluid and then like almost ruffly around the edges. Definitely makes me think that's like a chemical reaction is happening or movement. Like it gives a really strong sense of something is happening here. It's not a static image.
Yes.
And I of course love the colors. Even the strong purple and the strong green and the strong yellow are really great together. I'm like, I can see why those are inspired by the colors of life.
Interesting. Anything else? What do you think of her signature?
I mean, I love the signature. As I said, it made me realize of like I really should be signing all my pieces.
Yes, you definitely should.
I should.
All right. Sorry, I'll get used to having a co-host. All right. Next up, the one and only Pure Rolex. Absolutely love Pure Rolex. Always does some fantastic work. Is there a blue hue around like the iris part? Like Dream, man, this is intense. Like the longer some of your stuff has been absolutely insanely good to me. Like I could stare at this. Like there's such an intensity to your work. Of like just that focus on like the flower, that bright spot, like coming out of the darkness. Like I don't know if it's like the beginning of the dream or like the beginning of waking up from the dream, like that. And again, like the movement, right? Like, are you zooming in? Are you zooming out? Like it really allows a lot of interpretation, which I like. I see like this blue hue, which almost makes it feel like an iris, like looking through an iris. Um, you want to crop it? We could probably work with you.
Yeah.
You want to crop it? Yeah, we can do that. If you want to resubmit it with a crop, we'll do that before we do. Before we digitalize it.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought about doing it, but I was like, this is how the artist submitted it.
Yep. It's like revealing. Yeah,
no, it reminded me of what I was doing with the Big Bang when I tried to draw that, of like that energy just coming from something. In this case, the life of the flowers, which I love the color choice for the flowers, the blue, purple, red, and then the yellow behind it just makes me think of the warmth of the sun allowing the flowers to grow. So it also reminded me how much I miss working in oil pastel. So I might, once I finish getting all my stuff in my new place, work with oil pastels because they're so much fun. They're so fluid and expressive, and it's like working with crayons, but like ramped up a level.
Yes. So, and this is a great reminder. You don't have to use digital. You can use standard or traditional mediums. And then we just need the actual digital image of it. And yeah, again, we will use it as you send it. So if you want it cropped, I would recommend cropping it ahead of time, because we are not going to modify it because we want to present it as the artist presents it. Yeah, no, I really like this. Again, to me, it evokes such emotion, like the blackness, like the darkness of either like coming out of or going into a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that you blacked out the page rather than starting with like a black construction paper makes it that much more impressive. So that means that you had to choose where to leave the white.
Yeah, and it just like the actual like ombre of the black. I guess wait, is it does ombre have to be different colors to be ombre, or because then is it just a
it's gradient?
Is it a gradient if it's just the same color palette? It's ombre if it goes from one color to another.
That's my understanding. It might not be correct, but that's my understanding. Is ombre is multiple colors, gradient is one.
Gotcha. Either way, fantastic gradient. I really like it. It's very captivating. All right, let's see. Next up, Nature's Dawn by Snail Spacing, whoever the hell that is. A digitally drawn mandala based on sunrise over nature.
Yeah, so this is my piece for the submission. So I started with the sun in the middle, thinking about the dawn of a new day, just beginning it. And then wind to represent like the sky and the clouds. And then the next layer is supposed to represent mountains, and the layers and the different shapes of them, in multiple layers.
Oh, I see.
And then the layer outside of that is meant to represent like plant or tree branches. So the grass and the trees and the landscape below the mountains. And then outside of that, I was actually originally thinking pebbles, but it looks more like seafoam to me now. So whichever you feel like you want it to be, either rocks or seafoam. And then the swirls on the outside are kind of when you get outside of the earth, going into outer space and the movement and the centrifugal force of the world.
Wow. I mean, I was just gonna say it looks pretty. That is super intense. I'm like, you could like, it is like, because this is not a copy like, is this one of those? I'm trying to look here because I'm trying like right here, like these are like, it's not repeating.
Yeah, no. The only thing I did do a little bit of repeating on the branches. I drew like 5 or 6 of them and then repeated that arc over and over.
Okay.
But everything else was hand drawn individually. Like I did go insane and draw every single pebble. So every single pebble or seafoam bit was drawn by me. All the mountains are different shapes, and I did a little starscape behind the mountains.
Yeah, that's because like these little bits aren't repeated.
The swirls for the wind are all individually hand done.
I think I watched you do it. You spent like a lot of time doing those.
Yeah, trying to get swirls right. Like one of them still doesn't look quite right to me, but I had to tell myself like it's good enough.
Yeah.
And thank you, Shack Attack. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, the longer I look at it, the more like crazy it gets. And this is great. You know, I'll do a small plug. I know that you are also working on putting together some work for a coloring book in the not so far future. This, again, I feel like art like this would be absolutely fun as heck to have as a coloring book, like, you know, coloring mandalas. I don't know. Did you say you already had a theme for your coloring book?
Yeah, the theme for the coloring book is nature. So I do have a couple mandalas around certain animals. Some animals got natural backgrounds and some animals got mandalas, just depending on how I was feeling and what inspired me about the animal. I did a hedgehog, and around it is a mandala that includes rings to remind you of Sonic.
Nice.
So little Sonic the Hedgehog call out.
Well, there you go. Okay, so very, very cool piece. Cannot wait to see more work from everybody. Hopefully we will see something from our very own Zoe as well for our next week's kickoff. And I'll go back to this. All right, so let's talk a little bit about creation. So you use an iPad. I use an iPad. You told me to get Procreate. Look, see, this is my piece. Oh my gosh, this blur.
You gotta turn off
this blur.
Use your piece's background.
Yeah. No. So again, my piece here. I'm working on. I was going with a couple different like ideas. I really like, for me, beginnings, and especially with this project specifically, I really wanted to capture the idea that, you know, a lot of beginnings aren't just from nothing, right? I really wanted to show that a beginning can come from something else. So that was a traditional, like a phoenix. So like a pile of ashes, and then having like the smoke and the fire about the rebirth of like a phoenix. I really like the idea, and I might now leverage AI to do like imagine you're like viewing down a bunch of parallel universes and just like different worlds that were all destroyed. So you just see like destruction, different worlds like destroyed in different ways. And then like the latest, like the birth of a new planet, which for me is really both symbolic and literal of kind of the constant rebirth that I've had with UpX World, quite literally. And going, hey, look, over the last several years, I have, you know, had things grow and collapse and catch on fire and flood and get destroyed. But there's always a rebirth opportunity. There's always a new beginning. It's not about how many times you fall down. It's about how many times you get back up. And for me, that's what the spirit of UpX World is, and supporting and being supported by a community that is also being reborn with you. There's so many people that have followed through each iteration of UpX World and have just been amazing. And so for me, like, that's really, when I think of beginning, I really want to encompass that. And so that's what, that's really what my piece is going to try and do. So I'll figure out, do you have any tips, tricks? So the app you told me to get was Procreate.
Yeah.
That's the one that you use on your iPad. Why do you like Procreate?
Because it's the only one I've used. I know my siblings use different ones, so I'm trying to remember the names of those. I'm gonna actually look them up real quick to make sure I say the right ones. I like it because it has a lot of different brushes. I like it because you can work in layers, which means that I can make a layer, decide I don't like it, and turn it off. And then an hour later, if I've done that layer 3 more times and I still don't like it, and I turn on the original layer and I do like it now, it's not gone, but I don't have to, I can turn them on and off. I really like working in layers. Like, layers are your friend. I also like the backspace button. It's fantastic.
Is it like undo?
Yes, it's an undo.
Gotcha.
You can hit undo, and I thought it would drive me nuts when I was still working primarily in traditional art. I was like, if I am allowed to redo a line 1,000,000 times, I will redo a line 1,000,000 times. So I've had to get over that.
Yeah.
And now I really like it that I can redo that line a certain number of times and then have to say it's good enough.
That'd be an interesting like add-on to be like, I'm only allowed to undo
like 4 times.
4
10
times. And then I get locked out. Like, no more undos for another hour.
Oh man. Oh no. That would be a lot.
Or like you have to not, and it's not like time based. It's like
yeah.
it's like you have to create for another
You have to
6
do-
minutes. You actually have
Number
to,
of strokes.
yeah, certain amount of new content on the page before you can do any more undos.
Oh.
That would be an interesting restriction.
Yeah, because I was so used to working in pencils and pens and markers and things like that, where you get one, you like with pencils you can erase.
I was gonna
Pens,
say-
you get one shot.
I even buy erasable pens. All my pens are these erasable ones because all I do is make mistakes. So everything I have is erasable.
Yeah.
Erasable markers, whiteboard markers all day, erasable pens, and pencils.
No.
Nothing's permanent in my life. That's how I keep it.
Yeah. Well, I was working with a lot of permanent things. I mean, yeah. Probably the most flexible thing I was working with was either pencil or acrylic paint, because acrylic paint dries super quickly and then you can just go over it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, but with Procreate, I love the layers. I love the range of brushes that it allows me. I love the back button for sure. The only thing is I wish it would let me do more layers, because I've gotten on a couple of my pieces where I had to start combining layers because it only allows you like 150.
Oh yeah, only 150 layers. I
You
could definitely see that
know,
being a problem.
It's just it's not enough. There's
My
certain
goodness.
pieces where it hasn't been enough.
All right. So what? So I just started a new one.
Okay.
What kind of tips and tricks would you have for like a beginner starting out in the digital space? Like what are some
Underlays.
underlays?
Underlays. So essentially what you do is you'll sketch out the main composition of what you want to do and put that on a layer, and then put it on so you can change the opacity of your layer, change it to a lighter opacity, and then make a layer on top, and then do it nicer. So essentially you give yourself the general layout of your drawing,
Oh,
and then you go on top of that and make it nicer.
that's kind of genius.
Yeah. So it's kind of like using, I used to sketch things out really roughly and then go over it with tracing paper. So it's kind of like using tracing paper. And that gives you can kind of, before you start getting into your details and trying to get it really nicely done, you know that the whole thing looks good as a piece.
Oh,
Yeah, that's definitely one of my first starter tips that I would say.
that's a fantastic tip. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, underlays. I'm like, I do that especially if I'm drawing people, because I'm not good at people. I'll do that whole, like, you see digital or animators for Disney, they'll draw like the circle for the head and they draw the face line and whatnot. So make those.
Oh, and
Get
then
your
you,
general proportions down.
that, because I was like, damn, and then getting rid of that's a pain, but not if you use it as like you use it as a layer.
Mhm.
So then you make a layer on top of it, and then you can
Refine it.
Ah,
Mhm.
that's super smart.
Yeah. So even with if you're using AI to make a collage, you can still do the same thing. You can be like, this is where my nest or my volcano or whatever.
Yeah, so I should
sort of thing
sketch
would
out
be.
like here's the layout of what I want, and then work on creating each component and then putting it there, then blending it together. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I feel like my art game is about to step up significantly. So what do you think, audience? How about a drawing duel? Who wants to give us a topic? Give us something and we'll speed doodle. Get out your iPad.
All right.
Let's go.
Let me get out the iPad.
First suggestion in chat. We'll give ourselves, I don't know, like a minute or two.
Okay.
We're essentially going to give ourselves as long as it takes me to do something. So you have to work against the clock that you don't know exists, but it's essentially until I'm done creating, and then I'm going to say pencils down. Silly. Zoe says silly is the thing. All right. So okay. So now you get a prompt like silly. What's like? Where's your headspace go? Because we can't just like sit here and just doodle. You gotta engage the audience still.
Yeah, of course. No.
So
I mean,
like
the first thing I think of is Edward from Cowboy Bebop when I think silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I mean, she's incredibly silly and fun, and engaged me. I mean, like just imagining her running around the ships just singing was really funny to me growing up. Yes.
I didn't really watch Cowboy Bebop. Should I watch Cowboy Bebop?
We will watch Cowboy Bebop at some point because it's my favorite anime.
Okay.
Because it's amazing. It's older at this point. I was really young when I first saw it, so.
All right. So you're going with a character.
Yeah, I'm trying to go.
I don't know how to change. I got to change my brush or something here. Let's see here.
I'm gonna change your brush.
I don't know. The brushes are super cool. Oh, that's not what I wanted to have happen. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Oh, but actually that's kind of fun.
Oh, I love when that happens.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, happy. What's Bob Ross happy accident? Do you know that he might have been a serial killer?
What?
That's what there's a theory that that Bob Ross was a serial killer and that his all of his paintings were of places that he hid bodies.
No.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the theory. I don't know. I would like to think no.
I don't buy it.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Bob Ross, serial killer? Could be. All right. Pencils down. You're not even. What are you? Oh. You can keep going. I'm going to show mine.
All right.
No, you can keep going.
No, you said pencils down.
All right. Look at that. How silly is that?
All right.
And I got a little splatter. That was my happy accident. I didn't know what the paintbrush was. And then started splattering. There's my silly little face.
All right, so this is my silly little face. If it'll read with the black and white. No. Let's see if it'll read. There we go.
Oh, God. That was a great reveal.
So that's my silly.
Dang, that's pretty good.
In a couple of minutes.
I don't know.
Figures are not my favorite, but it's what I thought of first, so I went with it.
Maybe we'll put it up on Discord and people can vote. I don't know how to do any of that now. I'm not on a drawing pad now. Great job. What do you use, Shaq? What do you use to create those amazing pieces that you have? There always a delay. Photoshop. Use a PC and Photoshop. She's bougie like that. She's like, I use the Adobe Suite. Thank you.
Photoshop is great.
I'm a professional creator. Okay.
I haven't used Photoshop since school, but it was great.
I use my premium Mac in my Photoshop. Thank you.
Ibis Paint X.
Ibis Paint X. That sounds like something you get off the dark web there, Zoe. Also, I like how are you like dual boxing between Twitch and YouTube? I mean, I appreciate the dual view. Like, love it. You nailed me. That's exactly Shaq. Yes, my Adobe on my. She's like the least pretentious person ever. She's like legit humble AF.
And I looked it up. What my siblings use is Inkscape. It is a free program. So since Procreate is something you do have to pay for. Inkscape is great, free alternative. I messed with it one time making a t-shirt design, and I will say it did most of what Illustrator does from the Adobe suite, and it also does a lot of the drawing stuff.
Inkscape. So there you go. Yeah. So you got a couple options from Inkscape to IBS Paint. I feel like that is IBS. Isn't IBS like irritable bowel syndrome?
But it's IBIS.
Yeah, but I read it.
In there.
IBS. So it's like when you got the squirts and you want to paint, get some IBS paint. That's the Aussies for you. I guess it'd be good if you're painting with shit. No, which Zoe's is not. So that's not. I'm not endorsing the IBIS paint very well here. IBIS paint, you can do amazing things with it. Just ask Zoe. Or you can go high end bougie with the Adobe suite, or middle of the road. Procreate was like $13. And then I guess you buy some like pencil packs and the paint packs. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into that, but lots of flexibility there. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun. Next week, you definitely want to check us out. We will be doing the launch of the official wax project. Hopefully we'll have all the kinks worked out. I might have to reach out to our boy Joe Lives, see if he can't help a brother out on making that happen. And if you haven't submitted yet, it's okay. We're going to be flexible, especially on this first one. Looking at you, Zozo. So feel free, please finish the amazing work that you're doing and send it to us when you can. And Pure, feel free to crop the picture as you want and resubmit it. We will definitely accept that and are happy to have that in. And yeah, anything else you'd like to say, Snail?
No, just have a great night and remember to take life at your own pace, even if it's the snail's pace.
There you go. Till next time. Cheers.